AG, how terrible is this slate today?
Well, up until about 8 o'clock, there's like nothing to watch. And then
Yeah.
you got these Lions Packers showdown to cap off the season.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I mean, there's like 4 games that matter, or 5, I think.
Yeah.
If you pull it up, we can go through the count real quick just for fun.
Let's
So
do.
the Jets Dolphins matters because the Dolphins, if they win, they have a chance to get in. But they're also starting their third stringer, and the Jets are starting their third stringer, Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got you just switched.
Yeah, my bad. Well, I just wanted to get into because I think this is probably the easiest way to kind of break this down for everybody. So we already know the Chiefs' outcome. The Bills don't really have much. They are playing the Patriots, and it's a division rival, and they do need to win to maintain their spot. Because if they lose, they fall to 12-4, and the Bengals hit 12-4, and I think the Bengals have a better conference record. So there is the potential for the Bengals to move up into that second spot. The Bengals are obviously playing for something. Jaguars already
they
won.
need to win also, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the Chargers are sitting everybody. They don't care.
Well, it depends. If the Ravens win, then it matters.
Ravens aren't going to win, man. And,
I'm just saying. We're talking about the scenarios here, aren't
we? Yeah. I know. Right.
So the Dolphins, we mentioned them.
Right. The Ravens are playing. Yeah. So you have this handful of games, but lot of them, you've got like backup third string quarterbacks and shit like that.
Here's what matters with the Chargers, and that's why I had said that, is because they're playing after the Ravens game.
Right.
So the Ravens lose, Chargers won't be playing anybody. Ravens win, Chargers will start some people. We'll see how it goes probably. So so if you think the Ravens have a chance, go get in on the Chargers while they're +3. Because if the Ravens lose, I guarantee you it might flip. Or if the Ravens win, then it might flip.
Oh, it is going to flip. It's absolutely going to flip. The Broncos, come on. And then you have down at the bottom. So you have this weird scenario where the Steelers, they got to beat the Browns, and then they have to hope for the Dolphins to tie, and the Patriots or the Dolphins and the Patriots both to lose. Like neither one of those teams can win. I don't know why I said tie, but they need them to either tie or lose. Yeah. And so the Steelers are really, really hoping for some help. And they're hoping that the Jets give them that help.
Yeah, like you got the Patriots playing the Bills. It's like, all right, the Bills can take care of that. And then, but you're worried about the Dolphins, but they're starting a third stringer. But they're also starting a third stringer against Joe Flacco. It's like, I don't know, man. But I have a feeling, I think the Steelers are going to be the ones that get in. I think that because I just feel like the Jets are going to be able to, slow down that passing attack with Thompson starting.
It's very possible.
If the Jets defense comes and balls out and Flacco is able to just like hand the ball off and they're able to have some success running the ball and not put too much pressure on Flacco and not making him, win the game and steal the ball. Because his first couple starts in the beginning of the season, he was throwing the ball like 50 times a game. That's not what you want to do with Flacco. If you can get it to where he only has to throw 25 to 30 passes today and you have some success in the run game, they can beat the Dolphins with this roster that they're trotting out. And the Dolphins are one of the coldest teams in football right now. You don't normally when you're like that cold, you don't turn it around because now the third stringer is playing.
Yeah, this isn't 2009 Baltimore Ravens Joe Flacco.
That's well, yeah, exactly. Well, I'm hoping it is. So because I kind of I would rather. Well, it depends. Like, do we think Tua is going to come back if the Dolphins make it? If Tua's going to come back when the Dolphins make it, I would rather see the Dolphins in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but if Tua's not going to be playing, I would rather see the Steelers over the Patriots and Dolphins.
And I feel the same way about like with the Ravens and the Bengals. Like I don't want no offense, I know you're a Ravens fan, but I don't want the Ravens to win this game today against the Bengals and then win the coin flip and then end up being the number 3 seed or whatever in the AFC and have home field for that game, and then Lamar Jackson doesn't even play. That's why the Bengals got to take care of business. But anyway, so let's move on to the NFC because that's where it gets really interesting. So you have a lot of stuff going on here. The Eagles clinch the number 1 with a win.
And the Giants are sitting everybody.
Right. If the Giants are sitting everybody. Exactly. So this should be an easy win.
So don't give it the same energy as the Ravens comment that I made. Don't say if they lose.
Yes, because they're not.
Give the Giants the same energy you gave to my Ravens.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's not happening. So then you've got so the Cowboys are hoping against hope that they can somehow pull this miracle off, and it ain't gonna happen. And then the 49ers are also hoping for that as well. But the 49ers have a whole lot more to play for because they've got that now, number 2 versus number 3 seed. It doesn't mean as much as it used to, where one, it used to be that the 2 seed got a bye, but you still are playing for.
Scroll down real quick. I just want to see the rest of the slate while you're talking about it. But
yeah. So you got, so the Niners are playing against the Cardinals, and the Bengals. I mean, the Vikings are playing the Bears. So if the Vikings win and the 49ers win, then the Niners still keep that number 2 seed. If the Niners lose somehow and the Vikings win, then you're looking at the Vikings taking over the number 2 spot and the Niners slipping into number 3. And then that sets up, I think, this is just me. I'm a lot more afraid of, if I'm one of these NFL teams, of facing Brady in the second round than I am of facing the Eagles right now. As good as the Eagles have looked, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
I can't argue that. I can't argue it, but I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Yeah, show me the momentum that they have. I'm telling you, like, we talked about this before. The NFL is rife with these stories as you go back. And I've been, I'll be 49 in a couple of weeks. I've been around the block a little bit, okay? I have seen these things play out. And when you are the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers, when you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady, and you have the veteran leadership around these old grizzled veteran quarterbacks, and you combine all of that stuff, well, now you look at it and it's like, okay, did they do what they needed to do to get into the playoffs, to get into the dance? Yes. Have they rallied the wagons and gotten to the point where, like, okay, now these guys are playing, we figured out where we can plug these gaps and how we can plug these gaps and who's playing well. I think the way that it's setting up now, the Buccaneers are a really dangerous team going into the playoffs. And I would not want to have to play Tom Brady in the second round, especially not if I'm the Minnesota Vikings. That's the other thing. I don't think Minnesota sets up for a deep playoff run just in general, because they're going to really struggle against a team that can defend in the secondary and get to the passer, because Kirk Cousins cannot avoid a rush.
So you're basically saying you would want to lose out of that number 1 seed.
Lose out of it? No, I mean, I don't think
you don't want to play the Bucs.
No, you want to have the bye.
Yeah,
you want to have the bye.
But you were saying you don't want to play the Bucs. You'd rather play other teams than the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, well,
whoever has number 1 plays the Bucs if they get through.
Yeah, I'd rather play other teams than the Bucs. But I'm saying, like, I think it's going to be. We're going to really find out how real the Eagles are in that second round matchup, because
I got you.
I'm more afraid of the Buccaneers than the Eagles going down.
Match up, you're saying.
Yeah, if they match up. Well, and then whatever comes up after that.
Well, so here, pull the screen back up, because I was going to say, between the Vikings and the 49ers, I mean, look, this is just me. Now, if I'm looking at this and I'm the Vikings or the 49ers, I think that I would rather play the Giants than the Packers, Lions, or Seahawks, whoever ends up getting in.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you want to throw this and stay at number 3 if you're the Vikings, or if you're the Niners? Don't you want to drop down and go to number 3? I'm just throwing out scenarios, because
on paper, perhaps, but I think again, history has shown that be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And I don't think it's ever smart to throw a game on purpose to set up a matchup that you prefer, because that's the matchup that will end up handing you your ass on a paper plate. So
I want to play the Giants if I'm in this NFC picture.
You might want to play the Giants, but I don't think you try to set it up that way, because then that's when the Giants hand you your ass. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, man, Giants one and done.
All right, well, we'll see.
We'll talk about that next week for sure. But I was just throwing it out there, because honestly, if I'm one of these teams, I might just bench my starters too. Okay.
Yeah. So back to the Buccaneers though. Back to the Buccaneers. Speaking of teams not playing for anything, I don't even know who's going to play beyond 5 minutes in this game for the Buccaneers, because they can't move in either direction after they win. The only thing I could see them possibly wanting to play for is finishing with a winning season instead of finishing 8-9. But they're in the playoffs, and they can't move up or down. So that's it. They are locked into the number 4 spot, and it doesn't matter what happens in this game. So that's why the Falcons are favored by a field goal. The Cowboys have already clinched a playoff berth. They need a Philadelphia loss and for them to win in order to move up into the division title. And then it starts to get interesting with seeding. Like the Cowboys could finish anywhere from the number 1 to the number 5 in the NFC, which is wild.
I think the most likely 49ers loss also in order to get
a Niners loss and an Eagles loss, both of which are very unlikely. Right. But that's what needs to happen, and we've seen crazier things.
Both of which are going against backups or third string quarterbacks.
But they're still live. It's still live cards. They're still. It's a 1 in a million, but it is still live.
All right, now there's number 7 here.
The Giants don't care, and then this is where it gets the most interesting of anything all day. I just came from the Pacific Northwest, where Seahawks fans are really upset that the Seahawks game is being played before the Lions-Packers game because they're afraid that if they win, that will eliminate the Lions from the playoffs, and then the Lions will just fold and let the Packers win, and then that'll knock the Seahawks out of the playoffs. But I could totally see that happening, and I still think this Packers Buccaneers thing is going to happen at some point. Green Bay could not make the playoffs, or they could finish in the number 7 spot, and the Lions just need to win this game and for the Seahawks to lose. But the Seahawks need to win, and then they need the Packers to win or to lose. So it's this wild scenario where every one of these teams, except the Packers, needs some help, and all the Packers have to do is win, and they're in. So I'm putting my money on the team that only has one mission to
my money's been on them since they were 4-8.
Exactly, same here.
I'm hoping on a payday tonight.
So now let's go back to what we were talking about. So that's why now you take all the rest of the games out, because I have no idea what the rest of those games are going to entail in terms of who's playing, who's not playing. The NFL or not the NFL, but the books have taken so many of these games off of the books. We don't even have props for this stuff. Yeah. This Browns-Steelers game is locked right now on FanDuel.
Yeah, Chad was like, earlier before we went live, Chad was like, "Yeah, man, like I'm not taking a chance on like Mike Evans to play one quarter and then the backups in, or even if he stays in with the backup." Like, and I was like, "Dude, no, you're not playing it because they're not giving you a chance." Like,
right?
They knocked that shit. They don't have one.
It's not even on. You couldn't bet it and throw your money away if you wanted to.
They don't even want to take your money on this.
That's right.
I think that the best game that we're gonna see until 8:00 is this Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts game. I'm being serious.
This is the opposite of everything we just finished discussing, because these two teams are playing for something altogether different.
I'm being serious. This is going to be a hilarious game where they're just both trying to throw it the best they can. We're going to see how good these guys are at acting like they're going to try to win this game and going out there and playing football. And this fourth quarter might get really messy. If it comes down to it, and like, say the Texans are down 3 or down 2, on the 30, 4th and 7, they might just go for it and hope they don't get it, or just keep prolonging the game. Like,
go for it. And
if either team wins, they get fucked. Because the thing is, like, the Texans, they're looking for a quarterback. Okay, they're going to get number 1. If they win, the Bears might get number 1. Then we talk about that. They have trade value because they don't need a quarterback, whatever the case is. But the Colts, too. The Colts need a quarterback desperately. They don't want to move up another spot. Because there's a few teams that need a quarterback. Now, that's assuming that these teams are going to go for quarterbacks in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done my full analysis on these couple quarterbacks at the top there, so I have no opinion on that yet. But I usually say that, like, more teams are sorry than happy when they go for these top quarterbacks. So we shall see.
Do you think it's too on the nose if either the Colts or the Texans go for it on 4th and 3 and get it and line up in victory formation? You think that's too obvious?
I could see it. Yo, what was the example? I was talking to my friend the other day and I couldn't think of it. You might remember, Chad. It was like 2 years ago, I think. 2 or 3 years ago. There was a game where both teams, there was a chance for them to tie. And if there was a tie, both teams would have made it to the playoffs. But I think the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, that was last year. It was the Chargers. It was the Chargers and the Raiders.
Were out. It was last year? Yeah. And the Chargers ended up kicking it, right? Instead of taking it? Or was it the other way around?
No, they so it was.
Oh, the Raiders kicked
The
it and
Raiders
kicked
made
the
it in.
Chargers
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But they could have just sat on it and both
sat on the
teams
ball
made it.
and let them
Yeah, I
both
know.
make it. And they're
That's
like,
gonna
no,
be this
fuck
game.
y'all.
It's gonna go to overtime, 0-0, and they're both gonna sit on it for the whole overtime. How crazy would that be though? If they tie week 1 and week 18? I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be fun to watch in the fourth quarter and see how these teams navigate trying their best to lose to each other.
They'll be in victory formation.
I think it'll be funny.
Yeah, be in victory formation, fumble the snap, and the defense won't even try to recover it.
Just gonna be sitting there.
Be like, no, man, I'm not touching that.
It's gonna look like a punt. Like after you don't go for it for a certain amount of time, they just blow the whistle.
Right. So ball's dead. All right, so
let's get into some of these games that matter that we actually have some props for and whatnot.
Yeah, let's dig into it because I think the route to go. I think you're right. I think what we're going to be looking at is some of these. There's some situations where touchdown plays make sense, and it's really hard to gauge much of anything else. It was cool because yesterday there were actually 2 solid games that actually meant something for all the teams involved. The Raiders not as much, but they're still trying to ruin the season of a hated rival. So you had them going out there playing for something, and then you had the Chiefs. Obviously, they wanted to really distance themselves. But today, it's a little bit different, so we got to dig a little deeper. That's what we talked about as we open the show. Let's get into it. What you got?
What game you want to start with? I thought you were going to pull the screen up.
Do we want to look at this Jets-Dolphins game, or because they had a bunch of stuff pulled down for this?
No, I don't. Well, so I wanted to go into Jets running game, if anything. Like, you know, just fade that they're not going to try to give Flacco 50 pass attempts because it worked a little bit in the first couple games of the season, but then we saw when he had to go in for Zach Wilson or for Mike White a couple weeks ago, and it didn't look great dropping back.
So I wanted to dive into that. You can want all you want, but there ain't no Jets running game props.
Yep. Oh. So whatever. And then off that one, because I don't trust Skylar Thompson, I'm not going to Tyreek Hill. Like this is gonna be a week. Like I might spend 2 units today or something. Like it might. Yeah. Like, I'm not going crazy. There's no point in going crazy. We're dealing with like Chad said, not much to look at and work with here.
What up, Natasha?
That Steelers game is I guess worth talking about. Is it back on the board though? I know they had it locked up.
No, it's still locked up.
All right, so we'll circle back. Maybe it'll be opened up by the time we're finishing up the rest of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Natasha Kayleen. What up, Natasha?
I'm off of this. I'm off of this Bucks Falcons game because I have no idea who's playing or what. Same with the Panthers Saints.
This is another one with the Panthers. I would have wanted to go in and maybe look at the running game or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just why not? They've been doing well lately, and there's nothing. There's only running props for Alvin Kamara, so I'm off it. Adios.
And look, another game that matters, and it's locked up. Like what the hell? Another game that matters, and it's locked up. What the hell is going on? Like they're not trying to let us do anything. So I'm going to go to the well one more time. It's the only thing I can think of. So for a few reasons. One is that I actually think that the Vikings have something to play for here where they want to try to put some pressure on San Francisco that they've got to win that game in order to maintain the number 2 seed. Playoff jockeying is a thing. It still matters because whoever wins the 2 versus the 3, if those 2 teams face each other later on in the playoffs, the 3 has to travel to the 2. So it matters having that home field for that game, for the NFC semifinal. So if I'm looking at that and I'm trying to think, the other motivation I have is, so my son's in his Super Bowl and he's going against Justin Jefferson. So I'm looking at the TD props for this game, and I'm looking at Justin Jefferson at plus 110 for an anytime touchdown. They do not have any multiple touchdown plays here, which is kind of frustrating, but we'll try that anyway. They don't have any. I mean, this is where we are, folks. This is how bad this is. We don't have any yardage plays or anything like that. There's no rushing, receiving, no yardage, nothing in this game. It's all just like, hey, you want to play some touchdowns or some alternate spreads? Like, that's all you got. You're muted.
Shit, my bad. No, I didn't realize that because I went in looking for David Montgomery in this with Justin Fields out. I'm like, oh, they'll just hand the ball off, try to get through, maybe Herbert props or something. And I noticed that there wasn't any props for that, but I didn't even, look for any other things. So I didn't know that they had it completely like locked up pretty much. Yeah, this is This is a whack week, man.
Yeah, Ravens
What the
Bengals is
hell?
all locked up. You could go into this Giants Eagles game, but again, like you said, the Giants aren't playing anybody, and the Eagles have to win this game to secure the number 1 overall seed and a first round bye and home field throughout the NFC playoffs. So why on earth would you do anything in favor of the Giants? And how can you actually look at props? I mean, let's see what we got for some of the studs for Philadelphia, because there may be something there for AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, maybe even Devontae Smith. We could look at that. Sanders is, even money just about. AJ Brown's about even money, a little bit more positive there. I just don't know. Like that's a tough one. I would tend to want to look at maybe AJ Brown for a couple. But I would at least go so if I'm trying to build a touchdown parlay, I'm probably looking, with these two guys, Jefferson and Brown, as guys to do it. And I might even go and do a running backs one and have, Sanders and Dalvin Cook in there. But that's all we have right now. Like we do have some more passing, rushing, and receiving props in this Giants Eagles game, but it's just weird that they don't have this late, because we're only like an hour and a half before kickoff.
No, well, this game's at 4. But
no, I'm saying the other games. The other
yeah.
This one's farther out, and we've got props for it. The ones that are about to start in an hour and a half, we don't have any props.
Yeah, I think we have everything open for all the 4 o'clock games, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what do you think? Do you see anything in this game that you like?
I mean, I'm just not touching it, because if the Eagles are up 28-0 and
and you haven't hit yet, you're not going to hit.
Yeah, right. I mean, but somebody's got to score those touchdowns for them to go up. So that was why I mentioned the touchdown props earlier. I mean, we always run a touchdown prop anyway, but what I was getting at is like pre-show, I was telling you, I was like, we might only have a touchdown prop.
You might as well just go.
Nothing else.
You might as well just go first. And you might as well go first touchdown if you're going to do it, right?
Well,
get better money. Well, it may be but it may be the only touchdown they have a chance at scoring.
Well, no, they're not going to take anybody out if they're up 7-0.
All right. Well, you
know
get what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. But what
I'm saying, there's going to have to be 3 or 4 touchdowns from the starters in order for them to even come out of the game.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like your money, plus 125 or plus 120 on AJ Brown versus what's his first touchdown prop. That's what I'm saying. Like in terms of like how your money is best spent. His first touchdown is plus 650.
Yeah, right. And then what about when Miles Sanders scores the first one and then AJ Brown scores the second?
Then so be it. Well, what I'm saying is, what if Miles Sanders scores the first 2 and AJ Brown never sniffs the end zone because they pull him in the third
That's
quarter?
How it goes.
So you might as well, if you're going to make that bad bet, you might as well make it where it's plus 650 and not plus 120. Is what I'm saying.
And then you might lose when you could have won.
Well,
I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, you can make that argument that any bet should be a different bet, but until it happens, you don't know.
Yeah. All right.
But Anthony Brown is getting the start for the Ravens. That just happened.
Yeah. See, I told you.
So I told you Tyler Huntley opened that back up.
Let's go see. Did they? I doubt it, but where is it? Nope, it's still closed. Let me try to click on it though, because sometimes it'll show locked on the main screen.
Yeah, mine just opened back up.
Okay, so you do have some. There's some props. There's no lines. They haven't set the lines yet, but so we can get into some player props. So this is one. I might just go back to this one more time, because I've done it before, and I actually think it makes sense this week, because if their teams are going to secure the number 2 spots in their respective leagues, or in the Bengals case, just secure home field for that first game, it's going to take Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson both having solid days, and so I like them for each a touchdown, and that's plus 351. I would do yardage as well, but I can't get into it because there's no yardage for the Vikings Bears game. There is yardage for the Bengals Ravens game though, so we can look into that a little bit if you wanted to dig into some player props there. I know J.K. Dobbins is out, and now you got Tyler Huntley out, so like it's gonna be an interesting Ravens offense today. Yeah,
no, I got nothing in that. I don't know how to call that.
Yeah,
I mean, This is how today is. I mean, I'm not, I could probably find some stuff, but I'm not about to waste units on that game. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just ride into the playoffs on a good note.
Yeah.
Just,
right.
Kick it
So
today.
you know me.
Kick back and watch the game.
I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna take a look at this just because this is what I do. It didn't work out yesterday.
Mark Andrews inactive also.
That's awesome. So Jamar Chase for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns is plus 1204. 100 yards and 1 touchdown is plus 300. It's a very big difference, that 1 extra touchdown. But
why don't you take him first touchdown and 100 yards? That'll make it a way better odds.
Yeah, true.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. No. I'm actually gonna look at it. Just kiss my ass just for doing that. Just for saying that. I'm talking about. So you're saying this. You're saying this as though we're not talking about guys who might get pulled in the first quarter.
I know,
and that's why I'm saying, like, at that point, like, the first touchdown might be their only touchdown. It might be their only chance to score a touchdown. I didn't say they were going to get pulled with only 1 touchdown. I'm just saying, like, if they get a strip sack, fumble, scoop and score, and like some other shit, which the Eagles have done a lot, and especially playing against an ass Giants offense. I'm just saying, like, I could very easily see, like, if they score a touchdown, it's just as likely to be the first as it is to be the second or third. So I'm just going to swing for the fences, is what I'm saying.
I hear you. No, I'll just fuck with you.
But I wouldn't bet a whole unit on any of this shit today. Like, this is disgusting. We've been doing this show for what, like 12 weeks now, or 15 weeks or something like that. I think we started doing the prop stuff like a week or 2 into the season. I don't know. Did we start it the first week?
No.
I know we started tracking it. We started tracking it.
We started tracking in week 7. We were doing the show
week
like
7.
week 3 or something like that.
Yeah. So I've never been so, like, dumbfounded looking for something to try to bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last week. Sure. Like, I mean, there's nothing there. You don't need to bet every week and every game.
No, right.
We've always said that. So that's why I'm just like, let's just talk about the games that matter and get out of here.
All right. So Seattle, and speaking of games that matter, Seattle and the Rams, nothing there for the Rams. Although, Cam Akers has been really playing well lately. That's tempting, but I don't know. Do you think Seattle has what it takes to get it done today? Do you think they actually pull this off and put some pressure on that Packers-Lions game?
No, I'm going to put a half unit on the Rams money line.
On the Rams,
plus 194.
There you go.
Actually, I'm going to see if we got better value somewhere else real quick before I throw it. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going with the Rams.
I can pull that up. Give me just a second here. I got the whatchamacallit, Action Network. So what we got? That's it. I'm 5.5 is as good as it gets.
I got I'm taking the money line.
Your money line. That's right.
Plus, I'm gonna go with the plus 210 on DraftKings. That's the best value I'm getting. So I got a half unit.
Plus 220 on what is this one? Barstool.
Rivers. I don't have.
Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers. Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna go. If you have Bet Rivers, plus 215, but I'm going plus 210 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I could call it 225 for the show or whatever, but like I don't have that. I'm not betting on that, so I'm not gonna do that.
No, I got you.
Just me. But so I'll take plus 210. I think the Rams are gonna come out and win this game. I think if the Seahawks lose, then that night game comes down to that's winning in, and that's what the NFL wants. The NFL wants that game, prime time, 8 p.m. winning in for both teams.
Right.
Don't take any of that emotion and motivation away from the Lions by letting them watch the Seahawks win and kick them out of the playoffs before they take the field. I'm speculating here from purely and then if I was in the script writer's room, I would write for a Seahawks loss here so that this game means a lot more at night.
All right. Yeah.
So I'm going with that. We'll see.
I mess with it. Yeah. This spread is too big for the Arizona San Francisco game. Dallas and Washington. I think Dallas comes out and tries to win this game, but it may not even be a contest because the Commanders have just kind of fallen apart.
Yeah, they're starting the third stringer too.
Yep. Yep. How'd that Carson Wentz experiment go? Just saying.
I
So
warned you about that.
final game. No, you said that Wentz was playing better than Heineke, and I was like, no, I know that
No, I
Heineke
didn't. You took
had
the
fallen off the
Commanders
rust.
-2.5, and I said they might be starting Carson Wentz. That doesn't scare you?
Oh, okay, okay. For that, yeah, for that one. Oh,
Yeah, and you were like, "No, it's all right." And I was like, "Well, all right." I mean,
I was,
I was trying to help you out. It was better for me
yeah,
that you lost that.
yeah. No shit. Yeah. All right. So this final one, it's really hard. It sucks because this is the best matchup probably on paper that there is for this whole situation. But this one is the one that has so much tied into like what happens before it. So like this is
Yeah,
going to be so much more meaningful tonight when we know like okay, so now we know that the Lions aren't playing for anything, or okay, now we know that the Lions are playing for their playoff lives, and this is going to be a bare knuckle fight. Well, maybe we should come back to this one later on this evening. But for now, I think there was one thing that we were looking at. So we did say that what does Jamal Williams need? One touchdown to
to
tie
tie
the
and
record
two to break
and
Barry Sanders'
two to
record.
break
Yeah,
Barry Sanders' record. So
and they have
if we're
been
looking at
openly saying that they're going for it. That they want him to get it.
right,
I think he's a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, a couple weeks ago he like sent out a message or like did some kind of content where he was like, "Barry, coming for you." Like it was something.
right,
I forget what it was exactly, but he like gave him a shout out, like I'm coming for that thing. So,
hmm
and they've been trying to every time they're anywhere near the goal line, they've been trying to get it.
absolutely. And
Everyone's aware
he's
of it, but he's still been punching them in. So
yeah, and he's only 6 yards away from 1,000, which he could have a Jerome Bettis day where he has like 12 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns. Um, but it's
7 carries, four
yeah.
yards, 2
Right,
touchdowns.
exactly. Look, I had Jerome Bettis back that year when he did that. He had one game where he had like 5 carries for -2 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it was like because the touchdowns were all 1 yarders, and then he had like a -3 yard rush and a -2 yard rush or something like that. It was crazy, but that's one that I'm looking at as a possible play. Do you have anything? Are we looking at anything that where we can throw like a quarter unit and go after some big money for something here?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any big money plays, but I'm down to build one. But I do have one little thing that I like that might be a nice little bankroll builder going into the
Okay.
playoffs. Where it's like a couple toned down, lines out of the games that matter. So I found a
Yeah.
couple. So let me just find it real quick. I gotta find the exact play.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna do Najee Harris for 50 rushing yards against this
Right.
Browns team. Browns have been getting torched all year on the run, and this game obviously still matters for the Steelers. They got to win and hope for some other things to happen too, so they can get in. So I'm going to take him for 50. It's toned down, and shouldn't be too hard for him to reach. He's been getting a ton of yards lately. That was one of their biggest problems before, like the beginning of the season. He was not really doing much. He was still getting 50 though. Like he was when they were pretty bad, it was like he would have a game where he's at 49, 56, 42, 32. Like he's kind of near there. But they've been turning it up lately. He's had a couple 90+ games, every once in a while. So this is a perfect matchup for it. It matters for them. They need to win this game. So I think they should rely on that run game and not put the entire playoffs in the hands of Kenny Pickett. Not that he's been bad, but it just makes more sense to just try to build that run game first.
His hands are small.
He
can't hold that much in those tiny little hands.
Yeah. And then the next one is Josh Allen to pass for 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Now I'm taking this one because it matters to them. They're not going to pull starters unless they absolutely can. Like they want to stay at number 2, you would think.
Yep.
And then
so is it the over 1.5, or is there a different prop where the number's different? Because I'm seeing -136.
Oh no, yeah, over 1.5 touchdowns.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The Patriots, they allow 71% of their touchdowns to come through the air, of the touchdowns that they allow. So, you look at the Bills, any given Sunday, he can throw for 4 touchdowns, or he can run 2 and only throw 1, and then Devin Singletary gets 1 too. But this is a matchup where the Patriots don't really allow a lot of rushing touchdowns. Only
Right.
30% of their touchdowns that they've allowed have been rushing all season. So when the Bills get down close, I think that they're probably going to execute in the passing game instead.
Okay.
Then the next one is Tyler Lockett for 40 receiving yards. Not asking for a lot there at all. Obviously, they need to win. It might come down to situations where they need to convert on third downs, and Gino loves going to Tyler Lockett on third downs. There's going to be some really important third downs, maybe if this game stays close. Obviously, I have the Rams coming out on top, but I think Tyler Lockett's just going to be a big part of what the Seahawks are doing throughout that game. So going there,
he can have a big day even in a loss. So yeah,
exactly.
I can see that.
And then I got AJ Dillon, 25 rushing yards, nice and easy. Should hit against this Lions defense.
All right.
And it's another one where there's going to be a couple, it should be a close game back and forth, a lot of possessions. They've been incorporating AJ Dillon a lot lately, and he's been pumping out some yards. So, I see him getting 45 to 50, but I'm playing safe on the 25.
So plus 265. What are you throwing at this? At a full unit?
Just
or?
1 unit play.
1 unit. All right.
Yep. Might as well have some fun, sweat something out for the whole day. If we get out of the first 2 legs, then we can enjoy something in this 4 o'clock game too, and then if that hits too, then we got something to root for,
Yeah, like
so that's the only one I built already.
Okay.
I would be down to throw out a fun one too, like a little quarter unit one.
All right,
maybe
so
Jamal. Should we start Jamal Williams 2 touchdowns?
That's what I was going to say. So we'll start with the Jamal Williams 2 touchdowns because I think
now here's the only thing right now. I just thought about this. The only problem is they're going for that record, but if the Seahawks do lose, then you're going for the playoffs more than the record.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking about
easy.
this before we came on today. That that's one that I'm waiting, and if the Seahawks win, then I'm going to the Jamal Williams 2 touchdowns.
All right, let's stay off that for now then.
I think we stay off of that for now. But I do think that there is something to because I don't know, call me crazy, but I have a feeling about this Justin Jefferson. So I don't feel it. I would love to go after one of these Dolphins receivers, but I just don't feel it with like the backup quarterback situation and everything else going on there. I have a hard time picking who might score a touchdown, if anybody, in the Steelers-Browns game. This could be one of those field goal, like Ravens Steelers type matchups too.
Oh, that might be a good idea on a day like today. We can parlay a couple of field goal guys.
Hey, let's do it. Let's go.
You know what, bro?
Let's go for it. Let's go. Did we just find our gem for this week? We're gonna go field goal parlays. Holy crap!
Dude, let's do it. Let's
we told you we were scraping the bottom of the barrel. This is literally the bottom of the barrel.
So Steelers Browns is a field goal type of game. So Steelers field goals, right? We're thinking Steelers, not the Browns on their field goals.
Yeah. Where the hell's the kicking shit?
You think the Ravens get into field goal position enough?
I don't know.
For 2?
in the Bengals game?
Because that would be the other one that you're like, all right, they're going to get some field goals, but I don't know if they even are able to.
I'm trying to find where are the field goal parlays in this.
Kicking.
Yeah, they don't have kicking on here.
Oh, they don't even have it. They're taking the gem away from us before it even started.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, no, they never have it on FanDuel really for the field goals. You gotta go BetMGM. That's why.
Well, that bites.
I got BetMGM pulled up though here.
I got it too. I mean, hang on just a second. Let me do that. Let me pull. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get into it. Let me get off of this. Close all this stuff out.
Field goals.
Travis Kelce didn't do jack yesterday. It's very disappointing. Come on. Why are we still showing?
Oh wow, they don't even have. Oh wait, maybe it's in player prop.
Is this thing old? Is this thing not refreshing or something?
Field goals made. Oh, Boswell is plus money.
Okay.
Plus 120. All right, so we're gonna take that first, right?
I got BetMGM is not loading up on my screen here, so
okay. We'll go over the picks. So the next game that I would think about identifying is either the Baltimore Ravens or the Cincinnati Bengals for field goals. The Now I'm considering the Bengals also because the Ravens defense has been very good. Like that's what's propelling them to the playoffs with how bad the
No,
offense
and
is.
McPherson's good too. So
You want to just go Bengals maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
And hope they get stopped twice. They drive a little bit and then
because they're still trying to win. Like this isn't something where you can throw caution to the wind. You want to
they don't
take
have
points when you got them, and they don't have it there. All right,
beautiful. What other? Oh wait, actually, maybe we can do this. They do have field goal props, just not for each player.
Okay.
So there's a couple different things we
That's
can
actually
do.
better anyway, because then if something crazy happens and you're relying on a backup kicker or something like that, at least you got.
Will each team? Never mind. There's not really anything here. It's like, will each team score 1 or more field goals in the first half? Will each team score 3 or more total field goals? Will each team score 2 or more total field goals? How many field goals will the Bengals score in the first half? How many field goals will the Ravens score in the first half? And it's like over 1 or under 1. Like, I don't want to bet on the halves. I just want to
per half.
I just want to bet on them having it. Yeah.
Right. Right.
All right. So next game, let's see what might be the next game. Ooh, this Texans Colts. They're gonna be kicking field goals. They're gonna kick field goals on 1st and goal.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
I'm off it. All right. So what we thought of isn't gonna work because there's only one game.
Yeah. So do you want
Boswell plus 120? Should we just play that?
Plus 120 to hit 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Let's just play
I say we just drop a half a unit on it though. I know it's kind of chicken, but we're not trying to give away units just because.
All right, so half unit on that, and then we'll build
nibble on it, and then we'll build a half a unit
touchdown parlay.
Yeah, touchdown parlay. So
let's do it. All right, so half unit on Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals. All right, as we're scraping the bottom here.
I dig that. All right, so
let's
then
go back to FanDuel and get this play up.
Yeah, so then I like I kind of want to go like, I know it's tempting to go running back, but I kind of want to go receiver heavy on this touchdown parlay. So I'm looking Justin Jefferson. I don't like anybody else for that Vikings Bears game. Do you like anybody? Do you like Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis or anybody else in this
Well, I do like. I mean, obviously, I already I did say how I do think that the Bills are going to pass the ball into the end zone against the Patriots. So definitely one of those guys.
So so that's what I'm saying is, do we go Diggs or do we go Davis?
Or do we go crazy for some value and go like Dawson Knox and McKenzie or something?
No, I mean, I if we're doing a parlay, I'm thinking we go. I'm thinking we go with the easiest money, and so I'm looking at I'm just looking at all right. So all the stud receivers out there, this is your day to shine, to get something done. So I'm looking Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. Just follow me here. I'm just going to kind of build this thing.
I'm with you. I'm building too. I do like Diggs. I'll go Chase. That's cool.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown. I'm just looking at all the stud receivers. If I'm gonna build this thing, it's gonna be the guys who are gonna go out there and really ball out. No, and I don't like anybody else.
You don't have the screen up, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
know. Okay, my bad.
I just noticed too.
Thank you. Yeah, so Justin Jefferson's plus 140, Diggs is plus 130. Chase is closed. Why did they do that? What the hell? AJ Brown is plus 120. I gotta figure out why. Maybe they're gonna open up Chase here.
It's still not up. I don't know if you wanted it up. I'm just so you know.
I thought I had. Why is it not pulling up? Hang on just a second. Did I stop? Oh, I stopped sharing. That's my bad. I pushed the screen share button and turned it off. So
what are you thinking? CD Lamb too, or do we just end it there?
No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't thinking. All right, so did it come back up?
Yeah, we're up now.
Weird.
We're good now.
No, but I'm saying did Chase show up? Because now I'm showing plus 2450. Even though it's not up there. This is so bizarre.
Well, let's just name our guys, and then we'll give out the official count.
Right, but I don't have the time. But I don't have the I don't have the prop actually up there. So let's see. Did this thing? Yeah. So now it's back down to a 3-leg, and Chase. Did they remove Chase for me without even asking me? Come on now. Yeah. So they pulled. That's so crazy. They pulled the play from us.
Yeah. As I'm building it. Saying. Let's just pick the players. And
yeah.
Then we'll,
so it's AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Stephon Diggs. That's what I'm looking at for this. And these numbers are moving a lot as we
Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, just 4, right?
Yep. And I expect it to be somewhere in the 2000s.
Yeah, it should be with one more added, depending what number they end up giving us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's about a half unit. It would probably be a half unit to win anywhere from like 7 to 10 range.
Great.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm down for that. So then we got I have a half unit, or no, do I have a half unit or a full unit on the Rams? Forget. What did I say?
No, you said a full unit on the Rams.
Okay. So I got a full unit on the Rams money line plus 210 on DraftKings. We got a full unit on Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals at plus 120. We got 1 unit on that other parlay that we built. Here, I'll go over what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We got Najee Harris for 50 rushing yards. We got Josh Allen for over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We got Tyler Lockett for 40 receiving yards and AJ Dillon for 25 rushing yards. And then and that's 1 unit at plus 265, should be on FanDuel. Build it anywhere else if you want to shop around and see where you're getting better lines.
We're live again. Okay. We're live so he's plus 110. So we're plus 135 for Jefferson, plus 130 for Diggs, plus 120 for Brown, and plus 110 for Chase, for a total of plus 2397. So effectively, if you put a half unit on this, you're getting 12.
Bro, on mine, they have all the touchdown props back for that game, and Jamar Chase locked.
Are you serious?
Right now on mine, yeah.
That's crazy. It just went up to 2503. So you just got like another half a unit on your half unit play. So
I'm about to refresh and see what this ends up.
And they have unlocked some of these games now too, where we're getting actual lines on them. So now the Bengals are minus 11.5. I think that's because now that we know the quarterback situation there, we know that it's Anthony Brown for the Ravens. That thing has actually moved, and now we have a line with the Steelers and Browns. We're back to minus 2.5 for Pittsburgh. Thankfully, I locked in that -2 earlier in the week on our early line show.
Yes, you did.
And I still feel good about that. But yeah, so that's
I do too. I think you're gonna win off that. My over didn't hit yesterday, so
yeah, that's the only plays I could see. We talked about it when we started off. This is an ugly week. It's just not good. I'm really looking forward to the playoffs where we actually have some people playing and caring about the games again.
Yeah, I was about to say the way these the way today goes obviously is going to tell us a lot more. But even looking forward to next week, like there's a couple potentially really good matchups that are going to take place.
Absolutely.
Particularly, I'm definitely looking forward to if the 49ers win, the Eagles win, and the Vikings win, and all that stays the same at the top there. That Vikings rematch against the Giants.
Yeah.
When did they play? They would play the Giants.
Yeah, that was like week 3, 4, or something like
that.
No,
that was not too long ago. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I'm thinking. No, my bad.
The Giants should have won that game. But the Vikings hit that field goal.
I'm thinking of the Packers game. Who did the Packers? It was the Packers and the Giants when they played in like London or something like that. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Giants came back and beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would be an interesting one because that was a really good game. Giants probably should have won that. He hit a 61-yarder. I mean, it happens. You got to give him credit. But so that might be interesting. Then you got the 49ers are going to play potentially the Packers, which is that'll be really interesting. Especially the way the Packers are playing lately, or it'll be the Lions or the Seahawks. Either way, tough matchups maybe. And then obviously the Eagles or the Cowboys will get a bye. But whoever has to play Tampa and Brady, it's like, I don't know. All I'm saying is, if your first round matchup is against one of those number 12s, you might want to play your way out of that if you can. It's all I'm getting at. And then on the AFC side, same thing. There's a couple good matchups that we're looking at.
Matchups. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited to see once we know the real playoff field, and we're not doing all this conjecture about who might play who or anything, and we know what the actual matchups are. It's going to be really fun, and then it's going to open up a whole new window into a new world of player props, because then we're going to have some real stuff where now we're having to you can't assume rational coaching, but there's no tomorrow, so
Yep.
you're going to be able to look at this and say, okay, who do I trust for the coaches to trust when their life is on the line and the season ends if they don't win that game? Then it becomes a whole different type of scenario for how these games get played out. We've seen a lot of stuff over the last 5 or 6 weeks where, you may have some very reasonable expectations for why players should put up certain numbers, but if the teams know that they can get away with, trying to win a game, but trying to win a game while they're holding somebody back because they need to make sure that they're 100% healthy because they want to set them up for going into the playoffs, all these different things, all that goes out of the window. Once you get to the playoffs, it is fight to the death. And you got guys going out there gimpy, and there's no more resting because you're not 100%. No, if you can play, you're going to play in the playoffs. And that's just how it is. Unmute.
Keith just hit me up and said, take one field goal to be scored in each quarter in that Steelers-Browns game.
Okay.
We can get that at plus 650. So you need one in each quarter, though.
Yeah, and you cashed that one last week.
Yeah. Well, that was Keith's call, too.
Keith's been
the one calling these.
Right,
he's
right.
calling these. If the Jags didn't fumble yesterday, we would have – well, it didn't end up panning out in the second half because we had a plus 2,900 for each team to score a touchdown and a field goal in each half. So the Titans would have ended up screwing us on the touchdown in the second half.
Right.
But the Jags would have got that field goal instead of turning it over
in the first half.
Then it would have at least been alive till then. But
right.
Yeah, Keith's been sniping these. So while I was still on air, he just sent that to me. So
that's good
figured
stuff.
I'd let everybody know.
Yeah,
I'll post these plays officially, like all the plays that we went through. I mean, it was an ugly one. Thanks for sticking with us if you did. We didn't want to be here just as much as you guys didn't want to be.
We're trying so hard. I felt better trying to make plays on New Year's Day than I did today, trying to figure out how to sort through this bag of garbage that we have. But it's I feel like we're at Walmart. We're digging through the bargain DVD bin, and somewhere in there is the Matrix.
And then every time we find something good, something's like snatching us and saying, "Nope, can't have that one. Sorry."
Right? We're like going with the claw, or whatever, trying to pull something out of there. We keep getting the Hello Kitty.
Oh, that's a good play. Oh, they locked it. Nice.
Right.
Yeah, dude. The best lesson of today: don't waste your money, man. We're up 57 units. We've been hot and cold lately. We've been sitting around that 55 to 60 unit mark for a couple weeks now. We'll get over that hump hopefully today, but if not, then in the playoffs. But this is one of those where it's like, don't go out and waste your money on all these games. You know damn well there's nothing of value that you're really picking here. Throw around, have some fun, throw around a teaser or something like that if you want. Like pick a couple of these games that matter and try to call them right. If you want to throw some shekels on that, I
might do a parlay where it's the Rams win. And then the Lions Packers game is like, I'm going to do like the score is a field goal game decided or something like that. I'm going to see if I can pull take a team plus 3.5. Like do something like that where it's going to be a field goal game, because that might be the way this whole thing goes down. Is that's the most reliable outcome that we have.
Hope so. I hope it is a field goal game. So I cashed my lines plus 4.5 on you.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. Hey, look, man. Yeah, you need all the help you can get.
Yeah, I do.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all coming out. Yeah, that's right. We appreciate y'all coming out, and
we'll be back next week.
Happy betting. Yeah, we will.
With
be back next
way
week.
More exciting stuff to talk about, hopefully. So
that's right. All right, y'all. Peace.
Happy betting. Good luck.